So, this research study was titled Motivational Challenges of Adult Learners in Self-Directed Learning, and it was conducted by Kyung-Ji Kim in 2009. Back when he did this study, it was when e-learning was really becoming popular and beginning to increase in learners being interested in it. And since 2009, I think that this study has only become more relevant. So the focus of the study was on the impacts of learner motivation on the outcome of the ultimate online learning experience for adult students. And what that basically means is what strategies can instructors and instructional designers use to motivate adult learners to continue taking courses and to succeed in them. And the researcher found that based on his literature review, there really wasn't a lot of research that existed about motivation in terms of e-learning. There's a lot of motivational theories about general learning, but as far as motivation in an online environment where there's not quite as much interactivity, it seemed like the research was lacking. So the goal of this study was to lead to the development of more motivational learning theories specific to e-learning so that there was some guidance for practitioners and instructors who are trying to really succeed in creating interactive and successful online courses. So at the end of the introduction, the researcher identifies that his intended audience is fellow researchers and practitioners who are interested in enhancing learner motivation and developing theories on the subject. So what they did was it basically was a qualitative research study that involved one-on-one interviews with open-ended responses. And the researcher took a pool of 1,000 individuals and he whittled it down and ended up with a random sampling of 12 adult learners who had all taken the same online course. So through a series of interviews, again, open-ended, one-on-one interviews, the data was collected and analyzed. So the interviews either took place over the phone or in person, and it was a semi-structured interview, meaning obviously there were some questions that the researcher asked to everyone, but it kind of allowed for open-ended responses from each individual. And what he learned was that, not surprisingly, online courses with low interactivity and a lack of connection in content to the learners' lives led to decreased motivation and a low degree of interest in the course overall. So basically, when the learner was unable to make connections to either their life or their job, they found it very difficult to focus and stay motivated to complete the course. Now, when courses provided more interaction, such as animations and stimulations, general positive learning environment where there's interactivity between the students and the teachers, or control over pace and sequencing of content, they reported to have higher motivation and more interest in the course and more likely not to drop the course. So the researcher himself points out that the study was inconclusive in determining whether or not extrinsic motivation, such as rewards for completion or punishment for lack of completion, affected learners' motivation. There seemed to be some mixed reviews on that. And some interviews indicated that extrinsic motivation probably would prevent them from dropping the online course, but it wasn't necessarily employed in the course that they took. So the practical applications that we can take away from this is really that as the field of e-learning continues to grow and the pool of adult learners and really learners of all ages that are taking e-learning courses continues to grow, we need to continue to research motivation in this platform. We have to make sure that online courses are providing the same level of interactivity and learner satisfaction as face-to-face learning. So it provides conclusive data and insights for teachers and instructional designers who are looking to enhance their online courses and develop a pool of research to help do this better. And at the end, the researcher recommends that he does recognize that his pool was rather small. It was only 12 people, so that was kind of what he was able to work with at the time. But he recommends using a larger sample in the future and perhaps a more structured interview format to provide some new insights on adult learning motivation in online courses.